Schaefer here with Sam Schaefer Numismatics, and I have a brand new video today for you guys on the subject of choosing the right coin for your collection. Now, you may have heard the phrase, buy the best coin that you can afford, or sometimes you may hear the phrase, buy the coin, not the slab. And I'm going to demonstrate what that exactly means. Now, the reality is that coin grading is a subjective art form. It's not a scientific method, and although in circulated grades, there is an element of science to it, there's a certain amount of, circulation that is tolerable within each grade level. For instance, when you're grading barber coins, there's a certain number of letters of liberty that correspond with each grade level. However, when you get up into mint condition coins, it becomes very subjective because you're no longer counting marks or letters or anything like that. You're looking for what the coin communicates. And, that's where really you kind of have to think of grading as a language. And I'm taking that quote from Mark Salzberg, the president of NGC. And that's because coin grading, when you actually are talking about what the third-party graders do, is they're assigning a market value to the coin. So each coin must be, in their opinion, acceptable to trade in a certain market value. So if a coin is graded MS65, it needs to be able to pass an unseen bid on the wholesale market for MS65. Now, the wholesale market is actually like a stock exchange to some extent, especially with coins like Morgan silver dollars. You can go on, if you're a dealer, there's a program called CCE, for instance, which is a certified coin exchange. And I could purchase a Morgan silver dollar in, say, MS65. And I can purchase that coin unseen without even seeing a picture of it and have it shipped to my address. Now, that coin is going to need to be able to pass my, what I would consider to be okay for an MS65. So, it should be a relatively choice coin. And so, what's complicated is that the graders, when it gets especially into the mint state range, they almost have their own grading system within the grading system. You can have an MS65 that's an A+ example, like an MS65 plus. You can have, an okay example, like a B-, and you can even have an example that's like a C-, that's barely the grade. So what this translates to is you're going to see so much variance between slab grades. You're going to see some coins within a certain grade that you're going to say, wow, that is, totally undergraded, or that's totally overgraded, or that really has exceptional eye appeal. There's so many different things that a slab coin can communicate within a certain grade range. And I highly recommend that if you're building a collection, that you simply focus on the nicest coins that you can afford, and that doesn't mean the best grades you can afford. Because if you focus on the best grade that you can afford, you're almost always going to end up with coins that do not have the highest eye appeal. And the reason is because we're all sort of trained to hunt bargains. We're all going to be going after those coins that are, what we consider to be a good deal. And oftentimes, it's not really a good deal in the long run when you go to sell a coin that doesn't have choice eye appeal. So without further ado, I want to look at these two examples, and this is a great, little exercise in choosing the right coin. So let's look at the first coin here. This is, and both of these, by the way, are 1958D PCGS wheat pennies. So, imagine that you're building a typeset and you're going to try and select the right wheat penny for your typeset. So this first example that we look at, it's pretty nice. It's a mint condition coin. We have great cartwheel luster. Notice that as I tilt it in the light, that those triangles of light swirl around the surface. That's a good thing, and they appear to be pretty much unbroken. The fields of this coin are very, very clean, and I certainly like that. Now, if you'll notice, a couple things that stick out to me, and it's not a big deal, but there is a little gash on the shoulder there. And that's a spot where pennies tend to show gashes. It's one of the high points of the coin. There's often a bit of a striking issue there. It's often one of the places on the coin where there's a bit of you'll find what's called a kneeling chatter, which is due to the planchet having kind of impurities in the planchet that don't really harden up very well. So I like the obverse of that coin a lot. And on the reverse, again, I really don't see anything that I don't like. It looks like, we just have some very minor scattered marks. But really, overall, this coin is very nice. It has a nice deep orange color. Great look on the obverse. So I like this coin a lot. Now let's move on to another coin. This is a mint state coin. And let's just say for, the exercise that these coins are offered for the same price. So you can choose either one of these. They both are in your budget. Now this coin is fairly similar, but you'll notice a couple things about this. One, the color isn't as nice. It's definitely more of a dull, almost brown red. Like I would probably almost call this a red-brown coin. I don't know if I can call this a fully red wheat penny. It has great cartwheels, no doubt about that. But I don't like that the coin has a lot of black specks on the surface. You see that? All over the place. That's tiny little carbon spots. And there's no way to get those off, and they're really not that attractive. Additionally, one thing I don't like about this coin is there is a big mark right there on the chin. And once you see that mark, even though it's just kind of like a little polishing spot, I don't like it. I mean, to me, being right in the center of the coin, that really sticks out. And granted, from a technical standpoint, the coin is pretty much flawless on the obverse. The luster is really great. You can look at the shoulder blade there and see that it's totally clean. This is a nice coin on the obverse, but the eye appeal is a detractor for me. Now on the reverse, we have more issues here. We have more specks, and then down below United States of America, there's several noticeable cuts. Up here in the where we have 1 cent, I'm going to stabilize the camera a little bit. I don't really like that there's that gash right there by the O of 1. That really stands out to me. There's just too many things on this coin that stand out to me. It's just, to me, if I was offered both of these coins and I'm looking at this for eye appeal, what I'm going to enjoy looking at the most, I really like the first coin. And so you folks can decide, which coin you like better. Now let's take the stickers off and find out what PCGS graded these. The first coin here that we looked at, they graded a 66 red. Now I'll be honest, I submitted this coin, and I thought that this coin had a chance to 67. It's a great coin. It's absolutely premium for a 6. You really only have one detraction, and it's that mark on the shoulder blade. And yeah, I can see that being enough to disqualify it from a 7. But, to me, for everything else that's going on for this coin, that doesn't bother me that much. So how about this coin? MS66 Plus. PCGS considered this coin to be absolutely premium for 66. Now you folks can decide. I mean, yes, I can understand from a technical standpoint, and when I say technical, I mean the grade minus the eye appeal. I'm just talking about how many marks are on the surface. This coin's mark free on the obverse, and there's some scatter marks on the reverse. I just don't see this. And I've shown another colleague this, and he agreed. I think this is a bad grade. I disagree with this grade, but that's grading. It's a subjective thing. So, you have this choice to make if you're building a collection. You cannot just rely on the slab grades and hope to get away with making good investment choices. You really should learn each series and what makes a coin within that series desirable, beautiful, and choice for the grade. Because if you collect coins that are choice for the grade, even if you pay a little bit more for them, you're going to get a better return on your investment, and you're also going to enjoy looking at your collection more. And at the end of the day, that's what it's really about. We don't want to lose a lot of money on our coins, and we want to be able to enjoy them throughout the time that we have them. So I hope this video has been enlightening, and I hope that it's at least one example of this conundrum that we often face as collectors. Buying the best coin for the money, or buying the coin and not the slab. But I'll catch you folks on the next video, and happy collecting, everyone.